Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Awareness Podcast. I'm your host, Susan Telford, and this section is integrating spiritual awakening in everyday life. I'm delighted today to have as my guest one of the other four hosts, Bill Free. Hi, Bill, welcome.
Hi, Susan. Thank you for having me, and I've been looking forward to this broadcast and sharing with you.
For those of you who don't know Bill, I don't think there'll be very many of you, but I'll tell you a little bit about him. Bill is the co-founder of the Teachers of God Foundation. He is the founder of Pure Presence Conferences, and he is what's the title in Awakening Mind Films, Bill? I haven't done my
I'm one of the director's members, but I'm the executive director of the film. hmm
Yeah. So we'll be talking a bit about that later. And we've chosen as the title of this particular episode, A Life of Peace and Happiness. So, Bill, the first question that I wanted to ask you is, what constitutes a life of peace and happiness for you?
well, it's many things, and it's one thing. I would say for me, a life of peace and happiness is having a stabilized understanding and direct experience of who I am, of what everything is, of what everyone else is, of really what is this world that we live in? What is it all about? And the nature of reality, having an understanding and a knowing of what that is has been something that I've longed to know since I was in my mid 20s. And having the understanding and the knowing of that is it's total peace and happiness, and it's stabilized as that understanding. And I'm content to know that everyone has the same thing. Everyone. There's no exclusions in this understanding, and I just love that it's also the same thing that Jesus was pointing to those many years ago. He was pointing to this very same thing, as was the Buddha and the great sages and masters of the East that also have transported that idea over to the West.
So you say you know who you are, and you're mentioning an understanding. And there may be people listening to us who don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what you mean by that. So can you, and I know this is a big ask, but can you succinctly describe what you have come to know yourself as and where the source of peace and happiness is?
Yeah, it is a big question, and I think we all have this question at some time as little children, because I had it, and I've heard of others that had the same question, like, what is this world all about? When the mind is at the point of cognition and able to think for itself, and it goes, well, and then the little mind hears about things that might be a little bit scary, like hell, like, oh, and you're going to hell when you die, or heaven, or when you hear your mind is it piques its interest in knowing about these things that seem mysterious, and later on when the body dies. And when people die, we wonder where they go. What happens to that body that I used to know and have relations with? And that's the big question that the world has always been searching for is who are we, or what's our origin, and what is our destiny. And to have first, the understanding is first, there's a misunderstanding. First there's confusion, and there's questions, and there's a lot of theories and opinions, and some of it can be scary, and some of it can take you on a path of dogma and or cults or weird spiritual teachings, and just I mean, it's just an endless amount of time wasters out there that will take you on a path or a course that in seeking for the answers to that. And then there will come this time where you'll meet something. You'll meet the question with the truth, and it'll ring true for you, and you'll say, "Wow, there was something to that," and you can't really tell where that resonant experience, where that thing that clicked, why it clicked or how it clicked, but it's a visceral experience that first comes in with a curiosity and then a seeking, and then as one makes their desire to know, when the desire to know the truth is at the highest, then the answer to that truth reveals itself. And this is why, the teachings of Jesus and the Buddha and other masters since them said that desire is the first sort of energy or the thing that causes the movement and the opening for the answer to be revealed. And for me, it was God. If you're there, if you're real, I need to know about you. And of course, God is a very loaded word, so it really isn't even the word that matters. It's the heart is seeking after an answer. And when the heart is so fully and singularly seeking after that answer, or seeking with that highest desire, the universe must answer it. And it will answer it in the way that you can understand it the best for where you think you are. So it may reveal itself as the Bible. It may reveal itself as an atheist. It may reveal itself as a mystical teaching, or it may reveal itself as a teacher or a book, or something in the headlines of a newspaper. It'll reveal itself in the most obvious way, where you'll keep going. You'll keep following that track.
And what was that for you? What was the thing, or the teacher, or the teaching that made the difference? Because I know that you were on a Christian path for many years. You studied and taught A Course in Miracles for many years. But what was the thing that changed everything for you? That gave that final realization of the truth?
Well, initially I did the God, if you're there, I need your help. God, if you're there, I really need your help. And I was a single parent of a 2-year-old, and I had spent over a dozen years with drugs and alcohol as my, the thing that gave me peace and happiness. But it was later on when, I mean, it was after all of those years, after 30 plus years of following the Christian path, following A Course in Miracles, and just sitting in my living room at home and watching YouTube's videos, I came across Rupert Spira, and he had the missing piece to the puzzle. It was like the last piece that I needed that said, "Oh, that's the answer."
And
I
what's that piece? That's what I'm trying to get to. What exactly was that missing?
that piece was the understanding his verbiage of I am, his verbiage of who or what God is the same as what I am is. And I just knew when he was speaking in those terms that I am is the same I am that I am. That I am that has the ability to hear that which is aware of this experience became alive and knowing itself as itself. And it was in that moment that I just got a download that realized, oh my God, this is the same I am that Moses heard. It's the same I am that Jesus spoke of. I am the way, the truth, and the life. He wasn't speaking of himself. And then, because I had the Christian background and I had the Old Testament, I'd seen the Ben-Hur movie, and Moses was a big character in the Old Testament. But when Rupert said it, the way he said it, it was so clear that it became an embedded understanding that was connected with the direct experience of knowing, because it was a knowing and an understanding. They were simultaneous. It was the final piece of understanding, where I also understood what the Course meant when it said that God will take the last step. And of course, God is a very loaded word, and it seems like something outside of us. But now I was understanding that God was this. It was this understanding. It was this certainty. It was this direct experience that I am is what God is, and it's not separate or different from the I am that is aware of the listening, that is aware of what Rupert is saying. It's the same I am, and it's not a separate I am from anyone else's I am. So it's not exclusionary to just Bill Free's experience, or some other Jesus or Buddha's experience, or Moses. It's all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what's changed for you since then?
The thing that has changed for me the most is that I just know. I just know that my own experience is the true one, is the true experience, and I'm no longer wondering or contemplating. Is there more? I think there's a deepening that you may call more, but I feel like I'm home in my understanding, and I can access this direct experience of peace and happiness at will, at any moment of my desire to experience inner peace, or even contemplate, just to open a space in my heart, in the heart of Bill Free, where Bill Free is actually no longer even a separate object of experience. But Bill Free is the activity of God experiencing itself as a bodysuit, as a personal self, and never leaving its essential self that is eternal. And so this comes as this continues to be a deepening experience where you can see why it overwhelms the body mind, the personal self experience in such a good way, because now you're being led and experiencing life from this new well-being.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, particularly with regard to what we might call work projects. You're being led not just in your personal life, but also in the work that you're doing. Speak a little bit about that, because there have been some quite major projects that have come, and you always describe them as downloads. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, yeah, the one of the attributes, one of the characteristics of living an awakened life, a life of peace and happiness. So living, and you know, enlightenment is also a loaded word, but enlightenment is the goal. It's the goal that Jesus was speaking to. It's the same one that Buddha pointed to, and the great teachers of the East, Ramana Maharshi, Nisargadatta, Yogananda, Krishnamurti, so many have pointed to this. But what comes with this understanding, what comes with this direct experience, is the intuitive guiding light, the intuitive connection with our source, that offers, it's hard to describe it, but it offers a knowing. It offers a trusting and a knowing experience that leads the Bill Free in his life experience by intuitive signposts. And one of the many things that I do when when I wake up in the morning, you know, I'm always putting my hand on my heart. I feel like somehow the physical heart and this whole expression of putting the hand on the heart, it's like a new anchor, a default anchor, where I'm reminded that I am this peace and happiness. And as soon as the hand goes to the heart, it's like the I am presence is impressing upon the Bill Free body mind to, okay, let's bring our attention to the heart as presence, and it leads the way. And when that happens, ideas come into this open space of divine flow, and it being informed on where to go and what to do next. It's like a knowing of transmission. It cuts out any wasted time. It actually is time. It's not time based, so it cuts through the things that would be a waste of time, and it goes right directly to the things that are most in harmony with what's helpful for everyone, divine flow, and what decisions or what directions do I take today that have no resistance, not the least resistance, but no resistance at all, effortless movement. And that's a new way of living in the world. And you don't have to go to India, although I'll be in
About to.
India in a few days when this broadcast goes out. We'll be in India at the Ramana Maharshi ashram because I have a real heart for truth. I have a real heart to connect with these beings that have gone before us, as Jesus did, as the Buddha at Ramana Maharshi, right there. So I've always had as soon as I knew about Ramana Maharshi and I read about him, I wanted to go and visit his, Aranashala in India. So we'll be there this month in December, and looking forward to speaking to many of you that are members of Evolve and part of the Masterclass series. And I'll be calling from either the day before or the day after, going to the ashram of Ramana Maharshi. So I'll probably come back with an inspired energy of connecting with his ashram. We'll have lunch there, and I'm looking forward to that also. But this teaching is what we're here for. This is why we came into these bodysuits by the parents that had us, and in consciousness there are no mistakes in itself as itself, and this is a time where consciousness is revealing itself to itself. And so I'm very excited to be in this generation that is sharing the ideas of what am I, who am I, with the world that's always been searching. All of us are searching for the truth and to know what's my purpose here. And once you know some of these elements, just some of them, your purpose will point the way to you, and you no longer have to wonder, because it'll just be a known movement that you live by.
Yeah. And it's quite remarkable to watch how it all unfolds. One of the things that I really remember, Bill and I have worked together now for coming up for 5 years. And one of the things I remember is a conversation we had where you said something along the lines of, I really like what these guys over at SAN do, the Science and Non-Duality Conference. I think we'll do a conference. And then boom, look what's happened. How many conferences have there been?
Yes. Well, we've just finished our 6th conference, and
it just took shape, didn't it? It just materialized as an absolute concrete example of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How there's no resistance and just following your inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And many of our listeners will have attended these conferences. So talk a bit about those. And
it's another example of even having you come and join us for the Teachers of God Foundation, and Cindy, and the beings that are in the background of what we do at the foundation, Lindsay, Marie, Lori, Aaron, everyone that's part of our team, Therese, all of the supporting elements of our team have come through these informed kind of like, just not knowing what this is for, but just going with this gut instinct and this intuitive yes. And when you came in, it was Lisa walked into my office and told me that she got an email from you, and I said, I think that might be for me. And I followed up on it, and it was. And then each one has come in like that. And it's funny because it was before the conferences. I was interested in sand, and I'm going, wow, that's a cool organization, Science and Non-Duality. They didn't have anything about A Course in Miracles, and I didn't understand it at the time. But I thought, well, I want to do. They were doing in physical conferences, and I wanted to do virtual conferences. So I was interested in what platforms to use, and this was prior to COVID, so we didn't know Zoom was going to be so huge. But I went out to California, and I went to a big Zoom conference, and I started learning all about the technology, the hardware, and the things that were coming out for Zoom. And I met someone that knew how to take the hardware and the software platform and put it together so that you could have a virtual conference, and you could present 4 speakers at a time at once. And I thought, oh, that sounds good. That sounds tricky. So I hired this guy to show me how to do it. And then COVID hit, and I realized just a couple of months after COVID hit in 2020 that I was being called to invite people for a conference. I called my friend Jimmy Twyman. He got a hold of Neil Donald Walsh, and and then I started asking teachers that I knew from the physical conferences that Lisa and I were part of, and we began having our first conferences in 2020. And from that, I developed sort of a directory of about 50 really great teachers around the world, and I started gravitating to the non-dual teaching because it was the thing that was causing me to wake up, and it was the thing that was causing our core group of supporters, you, Cindy, the mostly the 3 of us, and I would say the remnant, the things kind of sprinkle to the rest of our core group. But we started having these deeper conversations about spirituality, and then Marie Chase came in, and she became our communications director for the conferences, and we just began having deeper experiences, I think, as the Teachers of God Foundation and Pure Presence conferences. We began going deeper with the non-dual conversations and teachings so that we really could see the benefit of adding that more fully to the conferences. And then also you and I had our conversations, and we really wanted our Course in Miracles, our core audience to have this deeper, direct experience for themselves, because we could see how simple it was, and it only required just a slight adjustment in our attention and a little bit of practice and some explanation of what it is for long-time Course in Miracles students to have awakening experience.
Yeah. And I think what's really good too is we then go back and read the course, because the course is one of our beloved texts that we still love, and we see I didn't realize that was what it meant. It's like it's the same with the Bible, isn't it? We're reading the same words, but the understanding is so much different.
Yes, yes. Well,
And I,
even this one verse in the Bible, you'll know it immediately. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Well, that's as true today. I mean, it's actually more true in that statement for me and for you. I can, by the way, you're nodding your head. You connect with that. That verse is so true today because it has set us free, and it doesn't mean we have to be. We are no longer this, but we know that this is there's so much more than this
yeah,
in our experience.
yeah. I feel as though there's almost a direct proportion to the more I let go of this, the more my life flows effortlessly, and the more peace and happiness there is. And when the body mind Susan character kind of reasserts when certain triggers happen, it's instant. It's almost instant now. It's like, look what I'm believing now. It's
Yes.
it's been such an amazing journey. And
Yeah.
being exposed to all of these teachers, through, at the conferences or in the master classes, we're just now preparing our 5th year of these master classes. So say a bit about that, Bill. How the conference teachers are then coming to be with us to give master classes, and the value that you see in that, and why we're doing this.
Well, Susan, we have both, you and I have both evolved with our presenting these classes. We've evolved as we have deepened our own experiences in awakening. I feel that our search for sharing it has also expanded so that we're asking the question, and how can we share this with our audience, allowing them to have this same experience? And I've seen in all of us that we have all had this deeper experience, and it keeps expanding itself. And we just have come to a place where intuitively, I don't think that, it's not we don't have an agenda other than to share the truth that has set us free, that has given us not just insights, but the direct experience of awakening as a sustained and stabilized experience embodied. And the master classes, the reason the master classes are so important is because these are masters. They're master classes, not, because they're, special, super, of a higher level. These are masters that have had awakening experiences, that desire to share it. They're able to share it at a place where these teachers just are willing to be temporary guides, pointing you to what you've always been, pointing the audience to have insights, glimpses, and sustained direct experiences of awakening that you can live the rest of your life with. And as you can live this understanding, you can live the pointings, the mystical teachings of Jesus, Buddha, Ramana, all the famous ones that I've mentioned and more. You can live that understanding, and it may be one session with one teacher that you go, like it was for me with Rupert, where I had the piece of the puzzle and I went, oh, that's it, and then you just continue to drink from that cup of understanding. Doesn't mean you need to keep watching the master classes. It doesn't mean that you need to keep reading the text. You will, if because it's such a pull to go deeper in the understanding. And then, of course, thanks to you, Susan, you've really you continue to lead the Evolve community in a way that allows them to, if they're putting their money in Netflix, they can for less money they can invest their money in the content of their own experience. They can invest their money in the teachings of the greatest teachers of our time, which is what the inspiration for the master classes, where it came from. When I realized that I was making friends with some of the greatest teachers in the world, and that all it required was for us to set up a platform, a place where it was organized, managed, and well cared for. A platform where these teachers would feel like it represented a place where that they could trust, and that they could also it was managed in a way that they felt like it was resonated with their own energy. And we began to gather these great teachers, and they continued to come on board for us, knowing that we're going to take good care of them, and we also take good care of the audience. And we're here for the single purpose of helping people to wake up and to know what awakening is, what their awakening experience, what it looks like, what it feels like, and how to know when it's occurring is something that people want to know, because it helps them to recognize what their experience is telling them.
Yeah. It's such a wonderful opportunity as well to be with these teachers. You mentioned that you're about to go to India to where Ramana Maharshi had his ashram, and his primary teaching was silence. He only spoke if he felt that the people were not getting the transmission. And as much as the teachers come and speak and teach and answer questions and be with the members of Evolve, or those who come to the master classes, there really is that element of being with someone, being in the presence of someone. I used to think transmission, that's that's woo stuff. But there's definitely some energy and resonance and vibration that you can't actually put into words, but you can feel it. And I observe it. I feel it in myself, and I observe it in the interactions between those present and the teachers. So
Yeah.
for me, that's a really important, and the caliber, as you said, the caliber of teachers that we're now able to get to come and do the master classes is, these are people that are at the cutting edge. That's one of the phrases that I like to use, at the cutting edge of spiritual evolution. But they are,
Yeah.
they're they have had the real deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
sorry, would you say something else?
I was going to say this is, when you see it in another, and the transmission does come in for you, you're if you aren't certain of your awakening, then you're most likely getting ahas or insights or glimpses that are signposts that it's like twigs and branches. Florence Scovel Shinn was an old teacher of Lisa's, and I remember Lisa telling me about Florence Scovel Shinn had a section in her book called the dynamic laws of prosperity, and she would equate prosperity is just ahead when you see twigs and branches. Twigs and branches are like a signpost that Noah of Noah's Ark may have used to know that land was just ahead, because twigs and branches would be floating on the surface, and it would let
Yeah,
him
when
know
the,
that
when the
there's
water level went down, you could see the twigs and branches. Yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly. So these twigs and branches, each of these teachers may bring you twigs and branches of insights and glimpses, and then suddenly you will have an insight that will be like the one I had with Rupert that went, oh, that's it. That's it. And that's what our hope is for these master classes, is that one of these teachers, something that's said, or it could be that it's revealed to you in one of the gatherings, in your interactions with your community. And yeah, I've been in your classes, Susan, with some of your conversations and meditations and the clarity that comes through you. This Teachers of God Foundation has had an awakening experience, and throughout it's all of its different parts, and it's by that we're able to share from a place of knowing. We know what we are sharing with our members, with the ones who have joined us in community, and it's exciting. It's exciting to watch 150 people that are more the normal, people that show up for these different gatherings. It's exciting to see them have their awakening experience. And they are. You can see it in the words that they use, in the way the questions that they ask, or the answers that they type in the board when somebody's talking, and the support that they give to each other. It's beautiful.
It certainly is. Certainly is. So, your latest project is Awakening Mind Films. Tell us about that. What are you up to now, Bill?
Well, we are almost finished filming our first episode for Awakening Mind Films, and this is where consciousness it's moved me with everything that we've done. And of course, I collaborate in trust with each of our staff, with you, with Cindy, with Marie, with Lindsay, with Lisa, and now we have Awakening Mind Films, which has been inspired to me to do a documentary called Awakening Mind, and to start an organization called Awakening Mind Films. And we've brought in two amazing cameramen, the Heimbold brothers, both cinematographer, filmmakers. One that's done over 100 Hollywood films, and then Leif was he was a scientist, and he worked for NASA for 20 years. He filmed all of their space launches, so he's quite a professional videographer. And then we brought Dan Schmidt, the creator of the Samadhi films and awakentheworld.com, and he so I just was inspired to bring those guys together when I was invited to put a documentary film together. I said, oh, I know exactly who to call. So I started contacting these different people that have been in our conferences, and they've all said yes. I mean, I think I sent 18 invitations out, and 16 yeses came back. And we have filmed at this podcast, we have filmed, I think, 8 out of the 9 for our first episode. We just finished filming Gangaji, Donald Hoffman, the scientist from UCLA, Francis Lucille. We went to his home in Temecula, and also, did I say Neil Donald Walsh?
Okay.
Conversations with God. He came on board at the very end, and then we only have one interview left, and it will happen while I'm in India. The team will go to Maryland and will interview this great articulate philosopher, author, and public speaker, Bayo Okamalov. He was in our second conference, and so he will be the final piece of our first episode for the Awakening Mind films. And I just saw the trailer. Just this morning, I saw the trailer for the film. It's coming together so well, and it's inspired to help the world to wake up. It's inspired to share the thing that I know brings lasting peace and happiness to everyone, to anyone that hangs their that hangs their desire to the desire to know. And I'm going to do a master class this month for those that are in our master class, or those that are in Evolve, our membership area. I don't know if it's open for. We're only opening it for sometime the month of December. I forget when that is, Susan, but this class, this will be our final one for this year for the Evolve members. And then we're also opening the cart for Evolve membership so that you save a boatload of money and you get to hear all of next year's master classes.
Yeah, let me just say a little bit, because the timing of this when this goes out is this is relevant. So this episode will broadcast on the 25th of November, and the Evolve cart is only going to open once a year, and it opens on the 28th of November. So 3 days after this podcast first goes live, there will be an opportunity from the 28th of November until the 11th of December. That's the only opportunity that there will be to join Evolve, which is where you get these master classes. And at the moment, we're still organizing all of this. But at the moment, it's looking like there will be 11 master classes in 2023. And all Evolve members will get that for one annual price. And after Evolve enrollment closes, each masterclass will be sold individually for $127. So it's less than a third of the price to buy an Evolve membership. So if anyone's listening to us and thinks, I want to be part of this, then make sure to mark your calendar for the 28th of November and get yourself an annual membership.
Yeah. Well, there's nothing like having what you're getting is you're just committing to having the content available for yourself that you can watch and be part of live. Yeah. And these are great teachers. These are teachers that you'll be able to have conversations with. You'll be able to ask them your questions, and you're going to be given the deepest, the most clear content, the most clear understanding and practices that they have learned from their classes, from their presentations, and from their own experience. What would be the most helpful to initiate that awakening experience for people. So these master classes are not to be taken lightly. They're an investment in the highest desire that you might have for your life, which would be to have that peace and happiness from here to the end of your bodysuit experience. And actually, when you hear the term that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, you can have that. You can have that kingdom of heaven experience, the thing that Jesus talked about. It's available, and one of these master classes might just be that thing that opens you up to know that for yourself, and it might just be that you find a whole community of like-minded individuals that you would love to hang out with, and hear when you hear these presenters present these ideas and present this understanding, it's exciting. It's like drinking from the well of pure truth. And even though you may have already had your awakening experience, this is also something that just sort of nurtures your reminding experience of pure presence. So I hope if you're listening and if you're not already a member, that we have pushed you over the edge with your desire to want to be part of it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we can't underemphasize or overemphasize rather, we can't overemphasize the importance of community. And just what it's like to be part of a community of men and women who are awakening, and because you can't have these types of conversations with everybody you meet. That's something that is said over and over and over again, how valuable it is to come into the weekly gatherings and to be able to have these types of conversations about our awakening experiences, and to be understood, for other people to know exactly what you're talking about and to be able to support each other. So and also we have the Evolve book group, which the book groups, that's something that we've done together, Bill, isn't it?
Yes.
I was privileged to be, I think, 5 times in the last book, Bill, your co-host in the Rupert Spira book group.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I love about being the Evolve community manager, is hosting the book group within there. And there's some really deep, rich conversations happen there too.
Yeah.
So we've not yet talked about your masterclass. You're going to be our teacher in December from India.
Yes. Yes. And I'm really looking forward to this master class in December because I'm someone who I like to transmit. I like to share from my own direct experience and enthusiasm for truth. So in December, you're going to be getting that directly from India. I'll be actually opening each of our morning sessions for the India tour with a meditation, and so I'll be very intentional in my experience in India, a mystical experience, a sacred experience of really having my attention on the sacredness of truth and the mystical journey that we're on. And during our class in December, I'll be sharing from that essence, wanting to transmit to you, wanting to give you practices while we're together that will also be those direct experiences and self-inquiries for yourself. So as we meet together in December, I'll be offering some self inquiry while we're together, and I'll be doing a sort of a dyad experience where I'll be the questioner for each one of you during the sessions, and I'll give you an opportunity to contemplate your own investigation into yourself as to what are you, what am I, and or who am I, and uh, what is it that is aware of this experience right now? What is it that is aware, that just is in pure, pristine awareness? And to answer that question from this place that doesn't use words to answer, that's what we'll be inviting you to investigate and also to know during our time together in December. And we're also going to be sharing, I'll be offering a guided meditation where I'll guide you uh, to your own direct experience of beingness and isness. You'll know it during the meditation. You'll absolutely uh, touch and make contact with your essential self. And I'm very excited about that we'll share that together. And then, of course, I'll be open for Q&A with you. You can ask any kind of questions that you like, and I'll be there for you to answer questions. And I'm going to alternate my sessions with Susan, who will have weekly gatherings, and you'll be able to talk about what we talked about together. You'll be able to talk with your community, and I don't know if she'll have dyads, if breakouts or not. That'll be up to Susan. But then I'll come back before I leave India. We'll have another session, and then when I get back from India, we'll have a final session on New Year's Eve in December, and look forward to sharing that with all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. One of the things that you're going to be talking about, I think, in the second session, and this really ties in a lot with our conversation today, with this, living an inspired, intuitive life, being open to what comes with no resistance. And you're going to be offering some exercises and discussion around what you've called the 2023 Intuitive Roadmap. So
Yes.
giving people an opportunity to really feel into what excites them. I love how you wrote on the document you sent me, what do you want in 2023? Not a spiritual answer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But what do
Yeah.
you, yeah.
That's
So
important. We really need to ask that question, and it's a little bit of a trick question because it's there's a real answer, and there's also something that reveals the obstacles to having that experience. What are those? And we're going to investigate that, and it's a very clear path to setting intentions, having 100% participation, and having zero expectation. So being 100% active, but not having an expectation on it. And it really allows consciousness. It allows your highest intention to have a free flow uh, of, of, of experiencing available to you. You're going to remove your own obstacles to the things that stand between you and your happiness.
sounds great. Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
yeah, that'll be good. Okay, so, well, anything else that you'd like to say just in conclusion? I'm seeing that an hour is almost up.
Well, I would say, yeah, in conclusion, because you're going to have a full month to think about this, think about what it is that you really want above all else. And think about what you would like your life to, what would you like 2023 to be for you? Think about that. Let it just kind of ruminate with you. And then I'll look forward to seeing you December 31st, and we can talk about it. You can tell me what you came up with.
Yeah, I'll do that as well. Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me on your podcast this week, Susan, this
Thank
month.
you. Thank you for being my guest.
I'm happy to be here. And
Yeah,
I'll see you in one another week. I'm coming live. I think isn't the first one December 5th?
I think it is. Yeah.
Monday? No, 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 no. Is it December 5th?
Is
First
it?
one? Yeah,
Um,
it is.
yes, it is.
It's
Yeah,
week
yeah.
one is December 5th at 12 p.m. I'll see you then.
That's right. 12 p.m. Eastern. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, which I
yeah.
think is about 10 o'clock at night, I
It's
think, in
pretty
India.
late at night in India. Yeah.
Yeah.
We will have, we will already be 5 days, 4 days into our tour. Likely we will have already, I forget which day we go to the ashram, but I plan to walk on my free day Aranashala.
Yes.
I definitely gonna, I definitely want to connect with the vibe of the great sages of our
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to hearing all about it. It's great that we're going to be with you while you're over there. So, yeah.
I know, I know. It's a bonus. You guys are coming to India.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, Bill. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.